Hello, for this final demonstration I'm going to do a beach scene with a crashing wave coming in and in the distance a lighthouse on the headland. And I've already drawn it up. I've put some masking fluid on some of the surf, and the next stage is the sky. I'm going to wet the sky first with the large golden leaf brush, water. Start at the top. Bring that down over the lighthouse. Just let it expand. And then pull it down so it's flat and tape at the bottom of the paper. Now we're ready to paint. With the golden leaf brush, some raw sienna. Just a bit of background colour. Then ultramarine, and we'll have the clouds drifting up from the right. So they go up, out of the painting. And you paint basically the blue bits around the cloud. So you leave the cloud shape with the raw sienna. Some smaller clouds here as it drifts down towards the horizon. Clouds are a little bit smaller. Wash the brush out. Then with ultramarine and some burnt umber. So this should give you a nice bluey grey colour. Right, drop the dark colour under the clouds. This is a scary moment. There we go. So the darker shadow sits underneath the cloud. So I think that's the sky done. Now this is going to dry a lot lighter than I've painted it. So if you feel that when you're doing a sky it's a bit too strong, just be patient. It will actually settle down and won't be too bright. Right, so I think quite happy with that. So we just let it dry before we move on to the next stage. We then move on to the sea. And the horizon is always a problem. I'm just going to show you a very, very simple way to get a straight edge, and it's by using masking tape. So just measure off the amount I need. Now some masking tapes are very, very tacky. Some are low tack, but they tend to come off the paper. But if this feels quite tacky, so I'm a bit worried that it might lift the surface. So what I'm going to do is put the tape between my finger and thumb and just draw it through my hand like that, and that will take some of the stickiness out of it. Put it in position. Lay it flat. Now I'm free to paint the horizon. So I'm going to start with the large detail brush, some ultramarine and midnight green. Try the colour out first. So paint along the edge like that. As it gets closer to us, we just make that just a little bit stronger in colour. So we have another wave coming in, a little bit darker, then along the top of the wave in the foreground. So a little bit more green. Right, so that's most of the water painted, and now it's just this surf on the beach. So sticking with that bluey green colour, ultramarine and midnight green, put that dark colour on the underside of the masking fluid. This is where the waves are rolling over and just creating a bit of a darker shadow on the water there. Some more blue, and paint in the direction that the swell moves up to the cresting wave. So it comes down towards the beach. Touch more green. Bring that forward. And leaving a few more gaps in between the blue, so there's more white surf here. And down to the beach. Go back to a darker colour. So blue, ultramarine, and the green, which is midnight green. Just darken that and just run that on the underside of that wave so there's a bit of shade. Some more detail. Right, moving back from the beach, just put a few bits of detail in. Just a few waves off into the distance. The brush is fairly dry, and if I drag the brush over the surface, this is what's known as a dry brush technique, where the paint comes out of the brush, but it just catches the raised bits of the rough textured paper. Use that nice soft brush stroke. Some more of that. I think we're done with the water, so remove the masking tape. This is this is the bit I hate. Very carefully peel this away. So much tension. So far so good. Keep going. Almost there. And we're done. Before we paint the beach, I'm just going to let the water dry. With some raw sienna, and I'm using the foliage brush, just going to wash in the undercoat, basically, like that. And a bit closer to us, just going to make that just a little bit stronger with some burnt sienna and some raw sienna. So just drop that into the wet. So just dab that in. Just bring that down a bit. And when that's dry, we then put the texture on top. Right, squeeze the water out of the brush, burnt sienna, tap the brush so the brush opens up, and then you can stipple the beach, well, the shingle onto the beach. Change the colour slightly, some burnt umber. Okay, and then we let that dry off.